something that a lot of people consider to be like one of the easier, chiller forms of graffiti, which is like daytime roofs that most people won't be able to see, but it's just like a calm piecing type of thing, you know, ended up being something that has really changed my life forever, honestly. Um, Long story short, I got onto this roof and I was, uh, piecing up as I've done probably hundreds of times. And it ended up being where I hear the cops coming up the stairs. And next thing you know, there's three or four of them with their hands on their belt, on their waist belt. And it seemed that they were about to grab their guns. Later, it turned out that they thought it was a burglary. So it explains a lot. But what happened was I ended up trying to climb onto another roof a little bit below, and I didn't make it. You know, we build a lot of confidence every single time we do something like this. And, almost like this ego built inside of ourselves where we feel that we're unstoppable. You know, we're climbing billboards, we're running away from cops, we're doing all these things that like a normal person wouldn't think is something that you do on a daily, but in this lifestyle, you sort of end up doing that so often that it just becomes like a regular thing. And in my case, that's what happened. And I got a little too cocky and thought that I could climb down, but I fell off and broke my spine. And from there, you know, I still had a will after I fell, and I tried to get back up, but I couldn't feel my legs. So I tried as hard as possible to climb down the stairs, and I crawled using my upper body, and then from there, I got bagged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot to say about that. And first of all, just like literally, like thank God you're alive,
Yeah.
because probably especially when it comes to falling off roofs, I don't know how big the fall was, but if you're breaking your back and shit, like you could. It's like a game of chance, It's like a game of chance what happens once you fall.
For real. What I was told from the hospital and from the cops, like I wasn't really supposed to survive that fall. Um, there's like body camera footage of the cop, and he thought like I died when he saw me fall off the building. But yeah, I'm so lucky to be alive. It's made me so much more appreciative of everything around me, like my friends, my family, my everything. And like even the food I eat tastes better now because of the fact that like I know that just like that it could have been over.
Yeah, yeah. Like I've thought a lot about that thing you were saying in the beginning, which is like the more that you write graffiti, your level for what you think is OD is like kind of going up. Like, oh, like climbing roofs, like that's OD, but after you do it for a little bit, like that's not that OD anymore. Oh, like
Yeah, I totally agree. I uh I definitely have some tales of some crazy things that, looking back on in hindsight now, I don't understand how I did because of how crazy they were. I feel like in the past, you know, few years that I've been out bombing, um, I've kind of like just been in this like blur. It just all just feels like not me. It doesn't feel like my civilian self. It it almost feels like I've just been not thinking as much because of the things that I've been doing. I mean, I'm sure part of it is my own like self-consciousness just like blocking out a lot of that, because I don't know how like someone would be able to deal with climbing up a billboard and like piecing a billboard and then climbing back down and not thinking to themselves, whoa, I almost died there. And like just going about as if it was another day, and then going to like do a tunnel afterwards, and then like stepping on the third rail with both feet and realizing, oh shit, you could have almost died. Like that was it. If you had like touched something else, then the electricity would have gone through you into the other thing and then ended up killing you. Like all of these things that like I feel like I've gone through in my short time of writing graffiti have really just like, I don't know, they've like changed me.
Yeah, of course, and especially what you just went through. So you fall, you try to crawl up to wherever you can't feel your legs. When you noticed that you couldn't feel your legs, what were you thinking? Like,
I immediately thought that was the stupidest thing I had ever done, and I immediately came back to reality, almost instantly, of like what my life is um going through right now. Like it almost hit me immediately that, whoa, I'm paralyzed. Like I thought it was over. I thought my life was completely over forever. I I thank everything. I thank fate. I don't really believe in God, but if there is one, I thank him too for or her for saving me from impending doom. Um but yeah, luckily I can walk again. Slowly I'll slowly but surely I'll make a full recovery from my broken back, but for now it's really really difficult. Um yeah, I immediately came to reality and thought that like, you know, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done, and I am paralyzed, and like I'm not going to be able to like do all the wonderful things that I have planned for the rest of my life to do, you know.
yeah, yeah, that's sick that you're gonna make a full recovery though.
Yeah, I'm very thankful. I'm very very glad. Um but it's definitely a lesson learned, and it's definitely changed a lot for me in terms of like how I go about the rest of my life, about how I appreciate things, about every single decision that I make. I feel like there's going to be just that much more thought into it. Whether it's if I go paint something in the future, which I definitely will because I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping graffiti. Graffiti has helped me in so many ways. Um, it's more I'm gonna change a little bit of the way I go about graffiti and my mindset towards it. Maybe in terms of like the risk factor of the things that I do, because in the end of the day, in my opinion now, it's not really worth it if you can't move for the rest of your life afterwards. There's no point in living if afterwards you can't do anything else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
yeah,
what are your thoughts on roofs, for example?
I mean, I it's funny, you know. I thought that Chinatown roofs or whatever were like some of the chillest things to do, and honestly, I still think they are. Um, it's more the decisions you make afterwards, or in like a little bit afterwards, or like will like determine the outcome.